Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Padmam Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Pudhananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shri Medha Dakshina Murti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Krishnakarine Namo Vedanta Vedyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine Krishna Dvaipayanam Vyasam Sarvalokahite Ratam Vedabja Bhaskaram Vande Shamadhi Nilayam Munim Sahasramurte Purushottamasya Sahasranetranana Padabaho Sahasranamam Stavanam Prashastam Niruchyate Janma Jaradi Shanti. Namaste once again, all of you, and a very happy Sri Rama Navami to all of you.
Thank you. Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskaram. And so, in the last class, which was the sloka we were seeing, and we completed the meaning. Vyavasayo Vyavasthanaha Samsthanasthanado Dhruvaha Parardi Paramaspashtas Tushtaf Pushta Subhekshanaha. So in fact, there was a request from one of the students that I should explain this Shubhekshanaha again. And I suspect that, as usual, after requesting in the last class, that student, whether he is there in this class or not, let me just check up.
I am very much there, Guruji.
Hariji is there.
Yeah, Krishnan here. Krishnan here.
Oh, Krishnan was, you requested. Okay.
Yes, I requested.
Okay. So, I will repeat that what I said last time. I'll probably go a little slow because this was the last nama. So, I felt that I went a little fast in the last class in order to keep with the time. So, Subhekshanaha means the one whose glance is auspicious. Okay. And what do we mean by auspiciousness? Essentially, if we need to understand what we mean by auspiciousness, means that grace of Bhagavan showers on us. And when grace of Bhagavan showers, that is auspicious for us. So that is how we have to understand auspicious. Auspicious, when we say Shubha Muhurtam and things like that, auspicious time to do something means at that particular time, the full grace of Ishvara, the full grace of the entire cosmic order will be present to bless that particular act or to fulfill a particular desire. That is how we have to understand this. That is why they see the Muhurtam and all that, for marriage and Upanayanam, for doing anything for that matter. That is to ensure that when that event happens, the full grace of the cosmic order, or what we call Ishvara, is present to bless that occasion. So here, taking from that, what Adi Shankara is explaining, Ikshanam, because Shubhekshana has got two words, Shubha and Ikshana. That becomes Shubhekshana. So Shubham means we know good, auspicious, that is all Shubham. And Ikshana means the glance, the what you can say, the sight, right? Darshanam. So Ikshanam, he translates as darshanam, yasya shubham, shubhakaram, mumukshuna. What is shubhakaram? Because I said that whatever one desires, for that to be fulfilled, the grace of Ishvara is required. Now Adi Shankara gives a few examples. Mumukshuna mokshadham. For those mumukshus who are wanting moksha, he showers his grace on those people. Before that, Shubhakaram is the Naranam Shubhakaram. That is what Naranam Shubhakaram means, brings auspiciousness in general to all human beings. And wherever we have the grace of Ishvara on us, whatever troubles may come to us because of our karmas and all that, we will be able to accept them and manage those problems. And that can happen only with the grace of Ishvara. And that is why here the grace of Ishvara is told as a glance, Ikshanam. In Tamil, there are some songs also. Can't you have one glance towards me? Some bhajan songs are there. So Naranam Shubhakaram is one, bringing auspiciousness to all human beings. Then Mumukshuna Mokshadham. Moksham Dadati iti Mokshadam, the one who gives moksha to Mumukshus. Then Bhogarthanam Bhogadham, for all those people whose desire is objects of enjoyment in this world. We have got a lot of desires, Bhogarthis, I want this, I want that, I want to enjoy this. To all of them, Ishvara's glance, by gracing with his glance, he gives, fulfills those objectives of those people. Bhogarthinam. Then Papinam Pavanam. Pavanam means purify. Those people who are papis or who have actually committed a lot of adharmic activities. If they go on, conducting adharmic activities, their rebirths will be at a lower and lower and lower realms of this entire living world. And every papi, every person who has actually done a lot of adharmic activities, at some stage or the other, he will realize that I have done enough of wrong deeds. I want to now change. I want to purify myself. And when that thought comes into the mind of those people, Bhagavan's glance comes on them, and then they are purified. In fact, even Ravana Badham or Krishna's, killing all these Rakshasas and including Kamsa and all that, we must understand that even though they were papis, Krishna's or Bhagavan's grace fell on them, glance fell on them, and he relieved them from this papa janma, a janma in which they were going on committing papas. So Krishna did not kill them, he released them from this samsara. So this is how we have to understand all these leelas of Bhagavan. So Papinam Pavanam, he purifies those who have acquired papa by taking to adharma. Then further, then Sarva Sandeha Vicheda Karanam. Means what? Brings about removal of all doubts and confusions. Because the entire samsara, the Jivatma, who is suffering and toiling in this samsara, all these toils are because of avidya. And that avidya has got two forms. One is total ignorance, another is doubtful knowledge, is also avidya. You have certain knowledge, but you have got a lot of doubts about that. So it is Bhagavan's grace, Bhagavan's glance, which acts as Sarva Sandeha Vicheda Karanam, brings about removal of all doubts and confusions. And then what happens? Avidyayascha nivartakam. Totally removes self-ignorance, all avidya. And this avidya in the Shastra is described, especially when I quoted the Mundaka Upanishad mantra, as Hridaya Granthi. The avidya, the ignorance is in the form of knots in the heart, in the intellect, which is in other words easy to understand. We can say doubts. All these doubts which are there in the intellect, which are responsible for the ignorance, self-ignorance, they are compared to knots. So what is jnanam? Untying these knots is the jnanam. So when we say hridaya grantehe vichedakaram, it is breaking asunder the knots of the heart or knots in the intellect. By that you gain jnana when that happens. And all this is, mind you, happening because of the glance, ikshanam of Ishvara. And once the Hridaya Grante Vichedam happens, what happens? Sarva karmanam kshapanam. All karmas get destroyed. So thus, he is a Subhekshana, the one who blesses everybody with his grace. He blesses those who seek arthakamas with artha and kama, whatever they desire. He blesses those who seek moksha with jnana and moksha. All this, especially the moksha part of it, Adi Shankara has relied on a Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad mantra, Vidyate Hridaya Grantihi Sarva Samshayah Kshiyante Cha Asya Karmani Tasmin Drishte Paravare is the Mundaka Upanishad mantra. So this is the explanation of just that word Subhekshana. So all the time, whenever we pray to Bhagavan, our prayer should be, let your Subhekshana fall on me. Please open your eyes and your auspiciousness, let it grace me. This should be our prayer. Krishnaji, is it clear now?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So now we'll go to the next mantra, next sloka. Ramo viramo virato margo neyo nayo nayah viras saktimatam sreshtah dharmo dharma viduttamah. What a coincidence.
Okay, real coincidence.
This is what we call Bhagavan's grace. He intervenes and makes us remember him again and again and again on special occasions also, right? If I had not explained Subhekshana, I would have started with the Nama Rama, right? Anyhow, good. Really, I didn't realize it when I read the sloka. I realized, oh, the Rama is the first Nama, right? The word Rama, even though we attach it to a very divine personality in the Ramayana, the simple language meaning of the word Rama means the one who gives happiness. And that is why Adi Shankara gives the Bhashyam, Nitya Ananda Lakshane Asmin Yoginah Ramante iti Ramaha. Swechaya Ramaniyam Vapur Vahan Va Dasharati Ramaha. So he brings both the meanings. The meaning of pure language meaning as well as in the context of Ramavatara, what is the meaning? The underlying meaning is the same. So we will see. Ramante Asmin iti Rama. The one in whom people discover their fulfillment, their joy is Rama. Because even before Ramavatara, the word Rama was there in the language. It was just that Rama was born and he was given the name Rama. But Rama was, the word Rama existed in the language right from when the language appeared, right from Vedic times rather. So, what we have to understand is one can discover joy only in the vastu, in the absolute reality. And one needs to understand that in the avastu, the unreal, the mithya vastu, which is called avastu here, actually speaking, it does not contain any joy. Even though because of our ignorance, we tend to attribute joy and happiness to material things. Purely ignorance. And whenever one discovers joy, even in material things, what we need to understand is that joy is coming because of the connection with the reality, with the vastu, with our atma. And all our search for joy in all unreal things or avastu, all those searches are for reality only. But we don't realize that that reality, that vastu is one's own self. It happens to be the oneself alone. And we keep searching here and there, everywhere in the world. We keep searching for joy and happiness. So what we must understand, whenever we feel happy, we must understand that we have connected with the vastu. We have connected with the truth of our own self. Because the seeker vanishes for the time being. Whenever we are seeking some avastu, whenever we are seeking, we are desiring, we are going behind some material things. And when the material things we get, we are able to obtain whatever we are seeking, that seeker gets resolved. Even though for the time being, with respect to that particular seeking. When the seeker gets resolved, what happens? The connectivity with our own reality, with our own self, the reality of the self happens, and that gives us joy. That is what happens. Without understanding this, we think that when I buy a car, I have a desire to buy a car, I have bought that car, I am feeling happy. We think that the car is giving us happiness. Car does not have any capacity to give any happiness. But that is our avidya, our ajnanam, because of which, without realizing all this, we go on going after avastu to get back to the vastu experientially. And Adi Shankara calls such people Muda Matehe. Muda Matehe means people of very, very camouflaged intellect. Or you can even say a dark intellect. Dark intellect in the sense that it is covered with the darkness of ignorance. Because if you look at it, whenever we are seeking something in our life, seeking in the sense of get a desire for any material thing, when we obtain it, we have joy. And there is always a hope that we entertain that sometime or the other we will get it. So yesterday when I had joy, when I got something, and even if I don't get it today, tomorrow I will get it, I will again be joyful. This is the general thinking rather. So experience is samsara. And going after experience is being in the samsara while understanding the reality of that experience is the truth. So whenever we feel joyful or happy, we just need to sit back and think, why am I happy? What is giving me happiness? If a material thing which I was seeking, which I have obtained is going to give me happiness, then that thing should give me happiness always, eternally. Isn't it? But is that our experience? Two people get together, a man and a woman, they experience a certain happiness in their relationship. And then they think that this is an eternal happiness. This will remain like this. And they get married. Will that happiness remain eternally for them? Our experience is in most cases, it does not happen. So earlier, what my understanding that this relationship is giving me happiness was a wrong understanding. Whenever I feel happy, it is because at that particular time, I am able to connect with my Swarupa, and that is what brings up happiness. But that is limited. It is there for a temporary period till I start seeking again. So here Adi Shankara says, the Bhagavan, the real happiness will be there only in Rama, who is Nityananda Lakshana, the nature of limitless happiness. So by knowing the Lord, by the knowledge of the Lord, Ananda is gained, and there is Kritakrityata, fulfillment. Even a deluded person, whenever he is happy, he experiences Rama, the source of joy, whether he knows it or not. At that time, it is the Nityananda Atma alone which manifests. But Adi Shankara says, the yogis, the jnanis, the mahatmas, those who understand the nature of the Atma, know that that is the only source of joy and revel in that joy in that Lord alone. And hence he is Rama. The Padma Purana says, Ramante yoginaha yogino nante nityanande chidatmani iti Rama padena etat param brahma abhidhiyate. It's there in the Purana, very explicitly. What is Rama? The word Rama is referring to Parabrahma only. And this is understood only by the yogis, by the jnanis. Whenever we think of Rama, we will go to a temple, we will have an image of Rama with Dandayudapani and all that. That is perfectly okay at the stage of spiritual growth that we are in. But we must learn to look beyond that image of Rama. Look beyond the story of Ramayana and understand that Rama itself means the source of all joy. Ramante iti Ramaha. So that's why he says, the yogis revel in that Chidatma, in that consciousness, which is the limitless Ananda. And then the second one, coming to Rama Avatara, is a Parameshwara alone is that Sri Rama. So there are two words, one is Rama and one is Sri Rama. Whenever we say Sri Rama, it is referring to Rama Avatara. And whenever we say Rama, it refers to the source of limitless joy. And when we combine the two, the very name Rama, whenever today Ramayana is there, the moment we think of Rama, the Avatara, what should come in our mind is the source of limitless joy. And it is that Rama, that consciousness alone assumes a body in order to fulfill the prayers of the righteous people, dharmic people. By keeping the Maya under his control, Bhagavan, Ishvara, assumes Swechaya, by his own will, a human body, and that is what we call Avatara. And that's why he says, in that Avatara, in the Treta Yuga, Parameshwara took a Ramaniya Vapus. Vapus means a form, a body, Vapuhu. A charming, Ramaniya means charming. Ramaniya Vapus, a charming form, and was born as the son of Dasharatha. And the name that was given to him was Rama. Because when everybody saw Rama, the child born, there was such a joy in everybody's mind. Dasharatha was filled with joy. He did not have any children. And the first eldest child born is Rama, beautiful avatar of Bhagavan himself. Such a joy which came in his mind, he named him Rama. So in this avatar as Dasharathi Rama, son of Dasharatha, he was charming even to his enemies. So this is the meaning of Ramaha. The next nama is Viramaha, the ultimate end. Viramaha avasanam praninam asmin iti viramaha. The one in whom all beings rest is Virama. He is Virama because all beings resolve and rest in him at the time of Pralaya. Or we can say even we need not go up to Pralaya because he is the one in whom we find the real respite from samsara. When we outlive this samsara, we become Jivan Muktas. What do? We are actually resolving in that Virama. We are losing our individuality. We are understanding that this individuality is no different from the totality that I am experiencing. That is the Virama, the ultimate end. Paramapadam, as we have seen this in other namas. Then Virataha. Virataha means Vigataha Rataha, Vigatam Rataha, the one who is free from desires. Vigatam Ratam Asya Vishaya Sevayam iti Virataha. There is also another readings, some of you might have seen Virajaha also, right? Meaning is the same. Rataha, Rajaha, meaning is the same. So being Purna, being total, complete, Parameshwara has no Rata. Rata means desire. And therefore, he does not require any Vishaya Seva, enjoyment of objects or special situations for his happiness. We will require special situations for happiness, but Parameshwara does not require. Being Ananda Swarupa, he is Atma Rata, revels in himself. Atmani eva Atmana Tushtati, says Bhagavan Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Because he is the Swarupa Ananda, he is Rama and does not require any external sources for his Ananda. And that is the stage that in the spiritual path we need to reach. We need to reach a stage where we understand what is the real nature of this happiness that we occasionally experience. Once we understand the real nature of that happiness, then all our dependence on external sources for our so-called happiness will stop. Our seeking will stop. Because in and through all our seeking, we are seeking only one thing, happiness. These are all things to be contemplated upon, things to be introspected upon and understood. Whenever I have a desire, what is the end goal of that desire that I am looking for? I have a desire to buy a beautiful house. Why do I have that desire? What is that house going to give me? So like that, you have to go on analyzing. Eventually, we will realize that what I am seeking through buying of a house is happiness. Because I have a belief that if I buy the house, I will be happy. So happiness is the ultimate goal. House is only incidental goal, which I feel is a path or a route for that happiness. So in and through everything, we seek happiness only. Once we understand that I am Swarupananda, happiness, I am the very nature of happiness, all our desires, all our seeking will stop. So Bhagavan Parameshwara is the one in whom everyone finds their Ananda, and therefore he is Virama. Now Puja Swamiji deals with this a little more detail. He says, how do we reach this Rama? Which is a very valid question. He says, through Rama we can reach Rama. The way is Rama, the end is also Rama. Because the limitless cannot be reached in any other way. Unless we understand we are limitless, we cannot become limitless. If we take ourselves to be limited, we can never ever become limitless. You add any numeral to any other numeral, it cannot be infinity. You cannot add anything to infinity. You cannot reduce anything from infinity. That is limitlessness. So by adding all these things which we think will give happiness, sigma, all objects which give happiness will not be happiness. If at all, it will be temporary happiness. Therefore, the knowledge that I am the limitless is the only marga by which you come to know that you are not separate, non-separate from Rama. And by that knowledge, the notion of separateness from Rama, separateness from Ishvara, it vanishes forever. And what is this knowledge? This knowledge is nothing but consciousness. So the object of consciousness is limitless. And when you understand the limitless consciousness, you become limitless. Understanding the limitless consciousness is to be the limitless consciousness. And Rama is the limitless consciousness. Therefore, the way is Rama, the end is also Rama. Bhagavan is the way and Bhagavan is also the end. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati, says Mundaka Upanishad. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahma himself. You don't need to do anything else to become Brahman. You just have to know what Brahman is. And that knowledge should not be a superficial knowledge. That should be an internalized knowledge, a knowledge which you have absorbed, assimilated. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. So this is the Virataha, right? Yes, Virataha is the Nama we are seeing. So next Nama. Margaha, all connected. You see, Margaha, the way. Yam viditva amritatvaya kalpante yoginaha mumukshabaha saha eva pantaha margaha. So as we saw, the end is Rama, the source of happiness. The means Rama, means is also Rama. And having reached the end, there is nothing more to be gained. Nothing else to revel in. And therefore, the end is in Virama, the ultimate end. All this we have seen. Now, how do we reach the Amritatva, the ultimate end? As I said, that end is reached only by knowing Ishvara. If Amritatva, freedom from limitations, is not already with one, and it is to be gained through a process and to be gained in time, then that Amritatva will be limited. Like everything that we gain in time and through a process is always limited. Puja Swamiji says a donkey cannot become a horse. A donkey, whatever form it changes, it will remain a donkey only. It can be spotted as a donkey. Even if it puts on a dress, a makeup of an horse and all that, isn't it? Whenever it sees something, it will bray and it will evidence its identity rather. So what we have to understand, if you are really a limited jiva, you can never become limitless. But then why Upanishad say you are limitless, you are limitless, Aham Brahmasmi, I am limitless Brahma, I am Satyam Anam, Satyam Jnanam Anantam, limitless. And if what the Upanishad says is true, that I am already limitless, then I don't need to become limitless. Waste of time. But the problem is, I am limitless in reality, but I don't know this fact. And that is why taking myself to be limited, I go on this samsara. Get afflicted by this bhavaroga. Life of becoming. I am this, I want to become that, I want to become that. Continuously life of becoming. So it is only by knowing yourself as a limitless Lord that you gain Amritatva. Therefore, he is the marga, the way, because through the knowledge of him alone, the seeker attains the ultimate end. So the very knowledge of the Lord is pointed out here as the Lord himself. And the pramana for the Purusha Suktam, there is a pramana. Tam etam vidwan amrita iha bhavati. The one who knows him becomes limitless here. Na anyaf pantaha ayanaya vidyate. There is no other path for gaining amritatva. There is no other path for gaining moksha. So if all of us have got different ideas about moksha and amritatva and all, we must understand what the Shruti has got to say. And Shruti can never be wrong. Let Purana say anything, let Itihasa say anything. Our source for all knowledge is Vedas, the Shruti. And Shruti says, na anyaf panta ayanaya vidyate. In fact, it is repeated twice in Purusha Sukta. There is no other path for moksha. Only knowledge of the limitlessness, that I am limitless, that knowledge only is the path for moksha. So that is the Nama, Marga, the way. Then next is Neyaha. Neyaha means the one who is led. Because now we have talked about the path. Now we have got to, when we journey on the path, somebody needs to lead us, guide us in that path. And that is also Parameshwara. We are Neyaha. We are the one who are led, who is led. And the one who leads also is Parameshwara only. That we will see later. So Margena, what does it Marga? Just now we saw what is the Marga. Marga is nothing but the knowledge of Ishvara. There is no physical path we are talking about, Marga and all. It is the knowledge of Ishvara. Gaining the knowledge is what is called the Marga. Pantaha. So Margena samyat jnanena jivaha paramatmataya niyate iti neyaha. So if the Lord is the ultimate end and also the way to gain it, then who is the one who is gaining it? Who takes him along the path? Are they all separate from the Lord? The simple answer is no. The jiva who is made to gain the moksha ichha, the desire to become limitless or desire to gain amritatva, is also Bhagavan. The jiva who is led through the knowledge that he is really Paramatma, Tattvamasi, that knowledge is also Bhagavan. The enlightened jiva is also Bhagavan. So whenever we say jiva, any living being, if we first of all start understanding and appreciating the Ishwaratvam in all jivas, that everything is Bhagavan only around us. And that is the foundation of our culture. Our Sanatana Dharma foundation is nothing but everything is Ishvara alone. In fact, an effective, after doing all the preliminary sadhanas and all that, the starting point of our spiritual journey, the final assault, as they call it, on the Everest, isn't it? Because you may go through so many stages while climbing the Everest. But as they say, the final assault is what? First of all, we have to set up a base camp. And that base camp, what it should do? It should make us understand that every jiva that is there in this entire universe is nothing but Paramatma, Ishvara alone, including myself. That enlightenment has to come first. We need not understand the logic behind it. Once we start climbing towards the peak, towards the Parandhama, towards the final goal, in that path we will understand the logic behind it. But starting point, we must learn that everything, every jiva, and that's the starting point, the samatva bhava, treating everything alike. So it is Parameshwara, or it's the jiva who is neyaha, who is being led towards the Samartatva. Then the next nama is what? If the jiva is being led, who is the one who is leading? Nayaha, the one who leads. Nayati iti nayaha neta. The word neta comes from this ni dhatu. Margo neyo naya iti trita rupaha parikalpate. Some mistake. Margo neo. One second, give me a second. Margo neo nayati trirupaha parikalpate. Three rupa. That's why I said Trita rupa. It's a wrong printing. So this jiva, who is a mumukshu, is taken to Bhagavan by the Guru, and that Guru who leads him is also Bhagavan. Jiva is Bhagavan. Guru, the one who leads is Bhagavan. The one who is led is Bhagavan, and the end is also Bhagavan. The final abode is also Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is referred to in a threefold way. As the marga, the path, the means for moksha, neya, the jiva who is led, and naya, the guru who leads. He is the way, he is the goal, and he is the one who leads the jiva to the goal. Everything is Ishvara. So this is the meaning of nayaha. Then anayaha. So this is again a landmark. This is the 400th nama. Anayaha. So we have completed 399 namas out of 1000. Okay. Anayaha. We just now said Nayaha is the Ishvara, is the one who leads the Jiva to moksha, to the final destination. But whom does Ishvara, who leads Ishvara himself is the question. So immediately the answer is Anayaha, the one who is not led by anyone. Na asya neta vidyate iti anayaha. So if Bhagavan is the Guru who leads, is he also led to moksha by someone else is the question. Does Bhagavan also have a Guru? That's a natural question. No, when we are talking about Guru Parampara, Adi Shankara had a Guru. Adi Shankara's Guru had a Guru. Swami Dayananda Saraswati had a Guru. I had a Guru. So there is a Guru Parampara. Question will be, from where did this start? There should have been somebody, the first Guru, Adi Guru, who did not have any other Guru. And that Adi Guru is nobody but Parameshwara, we call him by different names like Dakshinamurti, Narayana. All names we take as for Adi Guru, Parameshwara. So he is Anaya, not led anywhere by anyone. He has no neta, no leader, no guru to lead him. Everyone has to reach him, but he does not have to reach anywhere because he was not a jiva before he became Ishvara. He was always there. Even though every other devata in the entire cosmos is a position, is a designation of a jiva, exalted jiva. Agni devata, Vayu devata are all once upon a time jivas like you and me. But because of earning lot of punyas and doing lot of satkarmas, they got promoted as devatas. Of course, not straight away. There are in between, you know. A clerk cannot become a CEO straight away. But a clerk can become a CEO also if he does all the things right in an organization. So when we say he is the all in all, Ishvara, does it mean that once upon a time he was a jiva? Answer is no. We must not understand Ishvara like that. Ishvara was Ishvara always. From beginningless times. So no guru led a jiva to become a Ishvara. So he has no leader, he has no guru. He is the first guru, he is the Adi Guru. And that is why he is Nayaha. Anayaha, sorry. Then Veeraha. Veeraha means the valiant, the valorous. Vikramashilatvat Veeraha. Veera means the one who is valiant, you know, capable of subduing his enemies. Everybody thinks that he is a Veera until challenges arise. Isn't it? Every unmarried bachelor boy or man thinks he is a Veera till he gets married. Then he realized what is Veeratvam is all about. So to have the skill and courage to face challenges in life, one should be a Veera. And for that we require the Bhagavan to be a Veera because it is from him only that we get Virya or Shaurya, valor, bravery, etc. to face even our day-to-day challenges. And Virya, the basic meaning of the Virya is what? It is the essence for creation. So Bhagavan's Virya is the creation, sustenance and resolution. The one who has the Virya, that is the capacity to create, to sustain and to take it back, is Veera. So then we invoke the Lord as a Veera so that we can get some Virya from that Lord. We can also get the necessary valor and bravery and confidence to face the challenges in life. It is Bhagavan, praying to Bhagavan only, seeking the grace of Bhagavan only. Every challenge in our life we can face successfully. Then next Nama, Shaktimatam Sreshtaha. The most powerful among all the powerful, Shaktimatam. Adi Shankara says, Shaktimatam Virityadinam api Shaktimatvat Shaktimatam Sreshtaha. So among all those who are powerful, he is the most powerful. Every devata we know of, Indra devata, Agni devata, Varuna devata, we know the power of those devatas, isn't it? We know the power of a tsunami. We know the power of a forest fire. We know the power of strong, the winds, you know, when they blow in these tornadoes and all that. We know the power. They are all so powerful. But still, Paramatma, Parameshwara is the most powerful of all those powerful things. powerful entities. He is the Almighty, and therefore there is no one like him. Any power that all these, including us, we have is because of Parameshwara's power only. So all the devas like Indra, Agni, Varuna, Vayu and all others are Shaktimanta hai. They have tremendous power. Locally also we see people having power of money, position, etc. Right? But none of them are Sreshta. If we find one person, even taking the example of Agni, Agni has got a power to destroy, but water has got a power to destroy Agni. Isn't it? Earth has got a power to destroy Agni. When there is a fire, you take a lot of sand and put it on the Agni, that will be destroyed. So even though Agni on its own has got a very great power, but that power is also can be, it is overtaken by some other power. And this applies even in our cases, individual cases. Everyone who thinks himself to be powerful will always find somebody more powerful than him. So none of them is Sreshta, because in many situations when we have problems, what we all do, we seek the help of Bhagavan alone. Even Devas, when they are troubled by the Asuras, they run to Bhagavan to seek his help, isn't it? Therefore, he alone is Shaktimatam Sreshtaha, the most powerful among those who are powerful. Then the next is another beautiful nama, Dharma. The two meanings which is taken. The one who supports in the form of order. Because the whole cosmic order, functioning of this cosmic order is what is called Dharma. Absolutely synchronized functioning. That is the Dharma. And the second meaning is the one who is adored through the Dharmas. That is Dharma Shastra and all we have got. That's what Adi Shankara says. Sarva Bhutanam Dharana Dharma. Dharmaihi Aradhyate iti va Dharma. So Dharayati Sarva Bhutani iti Dharma. Dharma is that which supports and sustains. The Atma is called Dharma because that alone lends existence and supports to all beings. In the Kathopanishad, Lord Yama says, Anuresha Dharma. The self, Nachiketa, the self that you are asking for is very subtle. Anuhu Eshaha. This is very, very subtle. And that is Dharma. So Dharma itself is a very subtle thing rather. You need to understand that very, very carefully. Dharma is the basic order around which this entire universe revolves around. Dharma is also the infrastructure for human beings to interact with each other and the world and live harmoniously in this entire world. Dharma is also to be understood as the order because of which the animals are programmed to behave in a certain ways so that their sustenance is also taken care of. And this Dharma is nothing but the manifestation of Parameshwara. In the form of order, he supports all beings and hence he is Dharma. And Parameshwara is also known as Dharma because he is propitiated through the Dharma spoken about in the Shrutis, Smritis and Agamas, all the Dharma Shastras he is spoken about, and that is why also he is called Dharma. The next nama is Dharma Viduttamaha. Uttamaha, the greatest among those who know Dharma. Shrutayaha smritayascha yasya agnya bhutaha saha eva sarva dharma vidam uttama iti dharma viduttamaha. So here Adi Shankara says that those who have studied the Shruti Smriti and know Dharma, they are all called Dharmavit. So Dharmam Veti iti Dharmavit. So those people, these Dharmavits, the knowers of Dharma, are only Shastra Vits because they have come to know about Dharma through the knowledge of the Shastra. So whether you call them Dharmavit or Shastravit, it is one and the same. But they have to gain the knowledge of Dharma by studying the Shastra. But their knowledge may not be complete because there is so much to study. When we talk of Dharma itself, it's an ocean rather. But Bhagavan is Shastra Krit. He is not a Shastra Vid, he is a Shastra Krit, the author of the Shastra. So there is nothing that Bhagavan does not know. He does not need to study. He is the one who has made the Shastra. So why should he study the Shastras? He is the author. He is the giver of the Shastra, the source of all Dharma. And his knowledge of Dharma has no error or no vagueness. And therefore he is Dharma Vidamapi Uttamaha, greater than all those who know Dharma. So we now come to the next Nama. Vaikuntha Purusha Pranaha Pranadav Pranabha Prutuho Hiranya Garbha Shatrugno Vyapto Vayurato Kshajaha. So this shloka has got 11 namas. Vaikuntha hai, Purusha hai, Prana hai, Pranada hai, Pranava hai, Prutuhu, Hiranyagarbha hai, Shatrugna hai, Vyapta hai, Vayuhu and Adokshaja hai. 11 namas are there. So we will see these 11 namas in the next class. We will start with this shloka. Okay. So now I will say the prayers. Om Purnamada Purnam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Namaskaram, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Mama, thank you.
Chat.
So one
Thank you,
second,
Guruji.
it's done, 1 minute.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dhanyawada, Guruji.
Dhanyawadaha.
Thank you, Guruji. Namaskaram. Solungo.
Namaskaram.
Hello.
Namaskaram. Good. Any questions?
Hello.
Hello. Yes.
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah.
I have one.
Shoot.
We heard about the Hridaya Granthi. I was thinking that mother is supposed to, she's known as Brahma Granthi, Vishnu Granthi, Rudra Granthi, Vichedini. What does that mean?
Same only. See, when we say Hridaya Granthi, it's a generic name, knots of the heart. Now, when we go to Lalita Sahasranamam or any other this thing, there that knots of the heart are described. What are the different types of knots? Eventually, all the word Granthi itself means knots. And what do the knots represent? Knots represent confusion, delusion about so many things that we have got in our life. So you can describe, so what are the types of knots? There only 3 are described as you just now described, right? Vicheda means what? To break it. Break asunder is Vicheda. So you can actually, if you know what are all the types of knots which are there, you can list hundreds of knots which are there, which we all suffer from. A simple relationship, emotional attachment to anything itself is a big knot. Right? So like that, if you start counting we are carrying so many such knots in our intellect. Each one we have to untie those knots through our sadhanas. Whereas when the Upanishad talk about it, they talk about it at a very top level. Hridaya Granthi. That's all. Now you figure out from the Guru what are all the types of Hridaya Granthis which are there. And in fact, there again, Adi Shankara quotes only 3, right? Just as an example. But you can have 100 slokas on only the knots which are there in the Hridaya. But then what the approach of the Upanishad is, that if you have a magic formula, you untie one knot, all other knots are untied. You know, I saw one movie long back, it occurred to me that example. Of course, that movie was a very controversial movie because that Rekha, that I think it was Rekha who acted in that movie. She comes in a naked scene.
Oh.
That was a very, it is based upon some Sanskrit classic, right? Mrichakatika is the Sanskrit classic. The movie name I'm forgetting. Mrichakatika, it's a little erotic kind of a thing, that is, kind of a movie. But the art part of it was very nice. So there, this Rekha is shown with completely her body is covered with all ornaments. Instead of dresses, the full body is covered with ornaments right up to her toe. And you can't know that she is actually naked. There's nothing inside the ornament, but the ornaments are covering all parts of the body. And then in one scene, she just one hook she unhooks. And the entire set of ornaments fall down. And of course, in the shot, in the film, because they can't show totally naked, it's a very suggestive shot. They show it naked. Everything, by removing one hook, the whole thing falls. I very vividly remember that scene. And whenever I say Hridaya Granthi Vicheda, I recall that example. One hook you untie, all knots can be resolved. And what is that hook? That hook is Aham Brahmasmi hook. You understand Aham Brahmasmi, what it is? You don't need to go each and every granthas. You don't need to untie, or you don't need to do away with the knots. So that is what is Hridaya Granthi is all about. So Upanishads talk about it at a very top level rather. And that is enough. If we understand, etc., we put, So like that, 1 or 2 we name and then etc. That etc. means can be endless also. So many, again, the point is all these knots, these confusions, these delusions are not common to everybody. Some people have got some type of knots. Some other kind of people have got some other type of knots. But all of them, any emotional involvement, emotional slavery, emotional attachment, all the are one or other type of Hridaya Granthas only. That's what we need to understand. Yeah. Hari Om. Any other question? So there's nothing else. Can we close the session? Okay. Hari Om. See you all next Sunday. Thank you very much. Enjoy your week. Hari Om.